I was with her from the beginning. She had already been there, I think, for like 2 months. And she was super strong in her program. And she was more affiliated with NA from the get-go. And she's the one who introduced me to NA, which I really enjoyed. It's kind of a younger group. You know, I don't know. There's differences, but that's a whole different subject. Anyway, the point being is, but she had her core people were out of NA, and I got to know them, and we ended up, you know, going out for coffee and went to the park and stuff in the summertime, and it was really cool, and I got kind of close to her, and then I noticed she started acting different, you know, like she was just, she was off. And it was weird because it was so long ago. And I'm not going to lie, like, I was an alcoholic all day long. I was totally naive about drugs, about hard drugs. I mean, smoking pot, I'd smoked some pot. But at that point in my life, I had never been even around hard drugs at all. I'd heard about them, I'd read about them, but I don't think I even really knew anybody who did them, you know, personally, like in a relationship. So I didn't know what she was like when she was on drugs, and, you know, I'd only ever known her as this sober person, but I did see a change, and I knew something was off, and it hurt my feelings, you know. I was like, where's my friend? You know, what is going on? And I didn't really know how to approach it, and I actually confronted her myself, and, you know, I was like, have you relapsed? Because... And basically flat out just asked her. And she's like, you know, she started crying and this, that, and this relationship she was in was falling apart and so on and so forth. And she had tons of reasons. And of course, you know, she said, you know, don't tell anybody, please. You know, I got to get all my stuff figured out. And I didn't say anything. And actually she kind of turned things around for a little while. And, but then it got brought to the attention in another way. You know, so, cause I think I was so young, I was just more fearful of the fact she didn't have anywhere to go and so on and so forth. But she distanced herself from me, and it was only a matter of time, you know, that she just ended up, you know, leaving the house. So it was sad, but now going back, I don't know if telling the house manager would have changed how she would act, you know, at her time there or decisions that she made. But
at least, I mean, you can't, that's all you can do. You know, you can't hold resentments. You know, addiction's hard. Mm-hmm. At the same time, you're trying to remain sober in a sober living house. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, which I'm sure it does, you know, then you need to say something to somebody, you know, instead of like confronting that person. I don't think that's the right avenue to attack it. And that's what I was kind of saying, you know, just tell the house manager, that's what they're there for, you know, tell the owner or whoever, you know, just tell somebody and move on. You know, you don't know what they're going through or what's going on. It's, if they get thrown on the street, they get thrown on the street, you know, like they're not done learning the lesson yet, I guess. You know, I was thrown out. When I drank, I mean, that's what I expect to happen. If
it would have continued, like I said, it was tricky because I had developed this, you know, friendship with this woman. And so it is tricky. But if it would have prolonged, if it would have gone on and there would have been a continuing thing that was bothersome or put my recovery in jeopardy, I for sure would have brought it to somebody else's attention.
I mean, my boy Rob, he started the podcast with me. Mm-hmm. I mean, it started with me, but he was on it at the beginning, and he told on himself, like he was so effed up, and I had really started distancing myself because I kind of thought, well, something's not right with Rob, and he's obsessed with this woman who we started with that. So anyway, Matt and I were doing the podcast, and Rob walks in, and I guess they had seen Rob, and he was so gone. Like, they thought he was drunk, and I saw him, I was like, holy hell. Like, he looked like a complete different person. like physically just completely different. And he blew the PBT, everything was good. I was like, oh, hell no. And I went and talked to him, and like, he could barely even stand up. And he's just like, yeah, I'm so tired. And I'd never seen anybody like that. And I go down to the manager, and I'm like, yo, what are we going to do about that? You know, like, he's like, well, we're calling right now. I'm like, should we call an ambulance? You know, like, he told me he was going to do enough where he kills himself. And I've never seen anyone that messed up. And he's just like, yeah, well, we're going to take turns watching him tonight. And I'm like, okay, like, that's not acceptable for me. Like, I think we should call the ambulance. Like, yeah, but there's some other things. And I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, Rob was my boy. You know, like I say, he was my guy. And then, you know, to see him just lose it like that. But, you know, I wasn't going to. And then that time I was more concerned about his safety. Right. Is he going to get kicked? Sure, he's going to get kicked out. That's what happens. You know? But yeah. He'll probably go back to treatment or something. And, you know, last time I talked to Rob, I think he was doing okay. But I don't know. You know, it's been a minute. So
maybe you should check in on him. See how he's doing.
I know. If you saw my blog, which you read, and you said
it was okay. Really good. I liked it.
It was really good?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks.
I put heart. I loved it.
Yeah, I almost forgot to do it. And then last night I woke up and I was thinking about a friend, and I was like, I need to write that blog. So I kind of wrote it, and yeah, I don't know. I'm here.
Yeah.
If anybody needs me, so. We'll move to speak of the devil. He shall appear. Mr. Dion Love. A.K.A. Dustin Drake. Congratulations once again on your year, my man.
Yes, congrats.
He put on there the highs and lows of being clean. For me, the high of being clean is knowing that a loved one, when they go, let's just say, messing around downstairs, that it's going to be nice and the smell's going to be more pleasant for them. When stuff's going down, if you know what I'm saying.
Sexual relationship.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm talking about right there. I don't really know the lows. I mean, sometimes it takes a long time.
So, okay.
Or if the water's cold. It could be a biatch.
All right. Well, he's referring to being sober. Being clean and sober.
Are you sure? Because we're talking about Dustin.
Yes, I'm sure. But he probably figured that you would find some way to twist it.
I don't think.
Anyway. But
I think you're reading into it way.
No, I'm reading it exactly how it should be read. So I will speak to this because for the obviously the highs of being clean and sober are ridiculously outweigh any low. I don't even think there are any lows. I mean, I had to really kind of think about a low. And I think the only thing that's a low, I mean, it's really easy to get over, would be there are pieces of society that kind of circulate around, you know, partying and drinking. And it's a centerpiece of a lot of really important stuff, like big things. And that's something that you have to get used to. It's something that you need to kind of, you know, be okay with. You know, any kind of celebration is usually there's alcohol there. Like people get married. There's people actually have a part of the wedding where everyone drinks some alcohol. Is really what, you know, the toasts are in the history of, you know, weddings or whatever. It doesn't have to be that way. Absolutely not. But I'm just saying, but yeah, like parties or, you know, you think about when people, for those of you out there that are single and you're interested in somebody, right? And you want to ask them out to get to know them. in the movies or even in life, it's like, can I take you out for a drink or whatever? That's a common line, pickup line, because it's, you'll be like more comfortable and they're actually, making it obvious that they want to get to know you or whatever. And it's a laid back situation. It's just, I don't know, it's something that I've known to be some kind of an event or asking them out on a date or whatever. So, but that doesn't necessarily, you can ask somebody to go out for coffee, or whatever. So I think the whole thing of like not being part of something, I think would be.
Okay. I see where you're going with that. Then, yeah. Well, that would be a low then, I guess, or just an awkward moment.
Oh, that's what I was saying. That's one of the lows.
The high is just amazing. I mean, the waking up and, Dustin, he's the one to ask this question. I mean, he drank a little, I guess, but like that wasn't what really took him over the edge. It was that rush. He wants that excitement. He wants that rush. And there's things that you can do in life that give you those kind of adrenaline. Like, you jump out of an airplane, Dustin. Like, find those things that you like to do, man. That's extreme. Do a demolition derby or something, man. Like, get involved in something that you probably never even would have thought you'd be involved in, just to get that kind of out of your system a little bit. Like I do the podcast because this is what gets it out of my system, something that I love to do. So, try to kind of take those highs that you would get from using, but get them in a natural way, in a more productive way where you can still participate in daily life and live in society as a person.
So what would you say is a low of being in recovery? To answer his question.
Well, I don't know if I don't know if he's referring to like the days that aren't perfect. And actually, I just sent friend Justin something that had to deal. Let me read my text to him. I'm truly happy when you tell me it's going well. I was in your shoes, and not every day was lined up to be the best. But it's how we frame it in our minds that push us through, and soon enough you'll have everything back, plus more than you could have ever imagined. So, yeah, not every day is going to go the way we plan it. Not every day is going to be perfect. Not every day is going to be good. But it's how we frame it. If we frame it as, if I don't drink today, then this is the best day in the whole world of the earth and history of mankind and animals too. If we frame it like that, what's up, Tyrone?
Man.
Then every day is going to be great. But if we frame it as, oh, well, that didn't happen, or I didn't get this, or this didn't do. I mean, you hear me walking around here all pissy sometimes about, I didn't do anything today, I didn't do enough, I need to do this, I need to do that. And that's just me letting it get away a little bit. And then you kick me in the face and tell me quit being a little punk ass. And no, but sometimes you got to be reminded that, hey, hold on, man, let's like reframe this. We're the only ones in our minds, like we're the only ones that can do that.
Well, I do say that to you. I say, well, what you did a lot. What did you do today? To focus on the things you did accomplish. You stayed sober, right?
Voted. It's pretty cool. Yeah, but so now I'm like going through my days like, oh, I could have done so much more today. I was so frustrated. But when I'm sick, I don't care. Like I just got through the day. Win-win.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think maybe that's what he meant by the lows. That whole like when you're just feeling like, oh, I need to go use now, and